really about socionics. Mostly talking with famous people, dabbles in socionics, but has
Thank
some
you.
merge of socionics with Myers-Briggs typology. Though I have not
I
gone
like
on
the
to
breakdown.
the show much.
Thank you. I appreciate the fact that you understand that talking to famous people is not ascribing to any particular theory or trying to teach anything to anybody about
You're not
anything.
trying to teach anything to anybody. You
No.
want to have nobody learn anything from.
Oh, whoa, whoa! I didn't say that. I said I'm not trying to teach anything to anybody. This channel's not trying to teach anybody anything. It doesn't have any specific agenda. Discourse is an end in itself. It's more instructive than instruction.
Uh-huh. I think you could have said that differently, but all right. I got the point.
I could have said it differently. You don't just think that. It's 100% true.
It is. Instead of saying what you said, you could have talked about how to grow chickens in Nashville, but you didn't.
It's true. An important observation as well. So you know about socionics, though. What do you think about my notion that the best description of extroverted perceiving functions is to imagine that SE is to act physically and NE is to act metaphysically, and that the linkage is really between SI and NI and between NE and SE on one axis, anyway. What do you think about that idea?
I'm not really sure I follow your assumptions.
Well, I mean, okay. I guess.
What does it mean to act metaphysically?
Well, I'm acting metaphysically right now when I am telling you about this idea and saying I'm making meaning right now about the idea, which itself is making meaning about cognition. So it's metacognition, basically, and or more like strategic or directed cognition about systems in the world, and or creation of time objects, like we're making right now a video automatically that is being rendered into a published video, which makes it a time object that other people can access, right? The difference between things that are metaphysical objects is that they require energy to persist, whereas physical objects require energy to change. So that's sort of a description of the difference between the metaphysical plane of stuff and the physical plane of stuff. A lot of different words we have for it, but basically, physical objects have size and shape, and you can touch them and stuff like that. And so metaphysical objects don't. So
I feel that you explained. I understood many aspects of the concept you just discussed, but I feel that you explained it in a roundabout and confusing way.
Okay, so
following is what my opinion of how things work in socionics, and I'll be basically talking about my view of socionics and not necessarily a variety of other theories. I totally agree that there is a distinction between sensation and intuition, which has to do with physical environment and the abstract environment. It has to do with information, which is physically present or not physically present. But a lot of the other things that you said were too abstract for me to grasp them. Time objects, some strategic cognition. I don't think it has very well. I don't know. Anyway, we could say that. And my view is that in socionics, the difference between introverted and extroverted intuition is only very loosely related to the differences between metacognition and cognition about the features of some object still in the abstract. I think that that's true, but that's very loosely true.
Okay. I like the fact that you are operating on two levels concurrently here. You're first engaging in a discourse critique. You're saying, I don't like the way you talk about this, Eric. which I like. I like the fact that you're saying that because I do like the way you talk about how you don't like the way I talk. And the reason is because that's exactly what I said initially about what matters. What matters is the process of discourse, not the ideas being discussed. What's instructive more than any individual idea is to learn about the process of ideation. And that's where people actually need to have growth, but not instruction. So I'm glad you're doing the discourse critique. That's the first thing I'm responding to is your discourse critique. Now let me respond to the thing about socionics. I'm sure I understand and respond by pointing to your additional disclaimer that you are talking about your interpretation of what that theory is as a descriptive aspect of things, not trying to establish it as a position that you're advocating. So what we're encountering right here to finish up the discourse critique thread is we're encountering a conflict between TE and TI. You are probably an INTJ, and you have a TE framed understanding of the universe, which means when you use discourse, you want it to be additive. You want to find good ideas and take them in. You avoid clash, which is what I seek. I seek places where we disagree so we can parse out the wrongness. You seek good ideas and insights that you can add to your existing understanding of the world.
I don't agree with that at all.
Okay, well, hold on. The sentence I was just going to say is, that's my gut feeling on the initial assessment, and I'd love to hear where I'm wrong.
Well, I don't agree with that at all. Well, to be frank, many people have very, very poorly formulated ideas about many things, not only limited to topics such as typology and socionics, but also about many other things. And I take a very skeptical view of many different things. And I mean, discourse is good for learning. I'm not sure if I entirely agree that the process of discourse is more important than understanding ideas. I think ideas are powerful.
You have to understand ideas to engage in the process of discourse. That's what the process of discourse is. It's the process of understanding, deconstructing, and building off of conceptual things that have been rendered static for a moment in terms of meaning for the purpose of a given framework in a given project cognitively. Within a given framework for the purpose of a given project cognitively.
Okay.
I don't like the word abstract, Susanna, and the reason I don't like the word abstract is because there's a connotation in the words concrete and abstract that says things that are concrete are more real. And that's why I use the word time object, because I'm concerned not so much about immediate understanding of my listener as I am at displaying discourse as it ought to be normatively, that we have it's an ethical issue. We need to understand metaphysical action as real, as valid, and as significant as physical action. To the extent that it's valued less, well, that's implicit in the connotations of the words, and I don't like those words as a consequence. I want people to understand that they are existentially equal. That's why I use time object and space object.
Yes, but I thought maybe it would help him.
Do what?
He used the word abstract. I see. He used that word, and you probably hear him say it. You say maybe that word. He understands fine. He's engaged in adversarial discourse at the moment, but it's on the edge. He's not sure what exactly he wants to do here. So talk me through your own cognition about what you want to do with this discourse here. Vlad?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not sure. I was scouring some old information, and I came across a link to this room from last week, and it happened to be open, and so
It's always open.
came into here because I was curious. But I have no particular aims with what discourse I
Okay, well then describe how you feel.
participate in.
Describe the discourse that we've currently been participating in terms of how you what like. To me, it feels there's a certain amount of FE positioning, mutual positioning going on. But I don't know what your interpretation of that is. I'd like to hear it. You're also being cautious in how much information you want to give at the moment because, like most people, you think it gives you a strategic advantage to be more in the shadows. Comments?
Well, I don't know. I feel like this discussion is very poorly focused, but I suppose I will continue. I've been in this community a very long time, and that is to say the typology and socionics community. And I don't know how large your viewership within that community is. I don't actually think it's very large. That community is contentious. It's very contentious, and some people would clearly be able to know who I am simply by me participating here. I am tired of fighting with people in that community. It's a fucking pain in the ass. And
there's no reason to fight over
I don't
stupid
want
shit,
to
right?
put, I have very sharp views on many things, and I easily tell people that they're wrong about things. And a lot of times people don't want to hear that they're wrong. So over time, by the direct experience of being too prickled about how I go about interacting with people in this community, talking about typology, I have found a set of effective ground rules to moderate my participation and avoid many unnecessary conflicts, although of course not all.
Interesting. Fascinating. But I'll tell you this. You're safe here. You're totally safe here.
No, I'm
it
not.
doesn't fucking... You totally are, because it doesn't matter. That's the whole point. We battle all the time while laughing and enjoying ourselves, and we battle according to a very strict set of rules. The person who's wrong has to say, okay, you're right, I'm wrong. And we determine it by TI consistency. And
I'm safe with you. You are not going to get mad at me for telling you that I don't like a thing that you've said. But I'm not necessarily safe here in the type of discourse that you have framed. And I clearly, I felt also that I was safe is not it's not really part of my thinking. That's the word you used.
True.
But I suppose I would say I did not feel that I was a fit with some of the other videos of this community that were previously shown to me when I was invited to speak about various topics.
I don't remember inviting you. I don't know who you are, but whatever.
I was invited by somebody on Saren or Ken.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm not
But
sure.
Look, here's the thing also. I keep telling everybody, this is not a fucking typology channel. This is a discourse channel. You know?
Okay.
It's about talking about random stuff. It's about me having somewhere to put my songs up too. I want people to listen to my songs.
Well,
Yeah.
I think that's cool, but only some of that content actually interests me.
I'm not asking you to be interested in all the content. I'm telling you, I'm engaging in casual banter with you. Casual and hopefully warm banter for the purpose of mutual enjoyment.
All right. That's fine. It's just that a lot of that banter probably won't interest me very much.
Okay,
And there's
well
nothing
then
wrong with
direct me. Hey, listen, the great thing about talking with famous people is you can come in here and say, I'm host Vlad and I'm running shit for today. And I'll just be like, all right, let's see what happens. Go ahead. What do you want to do? You direct me. I'm good to go. Whatever you want to talk about.
What real estate market do you think is the hottest in the country right now for investment potential?
Well, I don't know real estate very well. I don't know markets outside of Los Angeles, but I can give you meaningful information about which real estate areas are most profitable in terms of long-term potential, short-term potential, and medium potential.